UFC Freedom 250 takes place this Sunday, maybe due to weather, but I figured I'd go ahead and do my main card predictions. There is no prelims for this, so we're gonna go ahead and jump in with the opener of Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Um, Sorry, I look like a bum right now. Just woke up. Diego Lopez presents a lot of problems here for Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is a very fast and powerful striker. He does go for it. He had a really good win over, I think, David Onama it was. Absolutely bullied him to a finish. But I don't know how much I rated David Onama win, especially when Diego Lopez has made it very close and put away one of the best at featherweight, Gene Silva, when he was pressuring heavy. So I think Lopez doesn't have to worry about much. Obviously, there's power to worry about, and he's not the strongest chin. Like, he has a chin, but like you see him get hurt in moments. He hides it well, is what I'm trying to say. But Steve Garcia, I think if he aggressively pressures Diego Lopez, it could be to his detriment. I haven't seen too much of Garcia, especially against elite competition, to really feel confident in any way of picking him. And I think I've seen Diego do enough. He's made it close with Volk. He did lose every round, but he was right there with him, dropped him at one point. Like, the guy is very good. And I think he just has the experience and know how to beat a guy like Steve Garcia. Now, if Steve Garcia upsets him, that'd be crazy. Steve is American. You know, he was a friend of Charlie Kirk at UFC Israel. But I'm taking Diego Lopez to win this one. Could Steve Garcia be too aggressive and get himself knocked out? Maybe. But could he respect the power of Lopez and, just maybe lose the 3 rounds and to a decision? I think that could be likely as well. We do see Diego Lopez slows down as fights go on, especially when they're high output. And if Steve Garcia forces early action, it could gas Lopez in the second. But I'm going to take the tenure, the credibility, the experience of Diego Lopez. But Steve Garcia could win. We move on. To the probably the dumbest fight on this card. This should have been Colby Covington. Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins. Kyle Dawkins, just it hurts to look at him, the frame. Um, but he's tricky. He's a tricky customer. I think his last one was a KO over Michel Pereira. Put him out cold with like a swing overhand over the guard, like a slip. Sorry, not a swing. Um, Bo Nickel obviously pretty fresh coming off the RDR fraud check, but then he got a head kick win over some unranked guy. Nothing special from Bo Nickel, but I think he's gonna rise to this occasion. Chael Sonnen's been talking about you win, you call for the title shot. I don't know what we're smoking, Chael. Chael just works these wrestlers. He just gets them nice and oiled down. um, but I think Bo Nickel probably is gonna win this. He's probably gonna use his wrestling. I don't see him getting chinned by Dawkins. It'd be hilarious. It would be so funny to see Bo Nickel do all this crazy talk again, and then Kyle Dawkins is the one that chins him and gets him out of there at the White House, and he wanted Colby Covington. That would be cinema, absolute cinema. But sorry, I'm tired. Just woke up. I think we're gonna take Bo Nickel on this one. Probably just gonna use his wrestling. I think Kyle Dawkins, maybe Bo Nickel could like land another head kick, but I think Kyle Dawkins has enough know-how. He is on his second run in the UFC and he's doing a bit better. 17-4, a lot of experience, not a lot of loss, but I don't know. Kyle Dawkins could win this, man. Don't count him out, but I guess we're gonna go with Bo Nickel on this one and move on. Dude, all these are kind of like, do you pick them? Mauricio Huffy versus Michael Chandler now. Michael Chandler fights like an idiot, but he is a tough fight in that first round. He goes for the kill. He goes for the back of the head. And if Huffy isn't careful, man, he could get overwhelmed. He got overwhelmed by Benoit. If Chandler tries to wrestle, he's no submission artist, but he's got decent wrestling. He's able to pistol squat Poirier. I think Huffy has to just be calculated here, kind of weather the storm that is a first round Michael Chandler, the Haymaker Fest, and then I think just pick him apart at range. Nasty combos. Chandler doesn't hold up to damage while he starts running away from the action, so I think Huffy just has to weather that first round storm. And I don't even think the first round storm is going to be too much for him. If it is, that'd be hilarious. These people were saying this guy's the next 55 champ. The guy to be Islam. Benoit's not knee subbed him easy. But if Michael Chandler, the dummy that he is, MMA dummy shout out, if him and his fight IQ were able to get Mauricio Huffy out there in terms of overwhelming him, I would laugh my ass off. Like even if I get my pick wrong, I'm going to be dying of laughter. But I don't think it's going to happen. I hope not. I think Mauricio Huffy, he might not even have to weather the storm. He might find that KO early. He might use Chandler's aggressiveness against him, This is kind of the fight. Chandler was calling for years to get the McGregor fight, and now he got Huffy. It's like McGregor was honestly the easier matchup, and now he's getting a more closer to prime McGregor type fighter than current McGregor. So I think Huffy could get him out of there in one, but we'll say round two, round three, KO, TKO. It's gonna be pretty violent. But yeah, we're taking that. We move on to Josh, the the incredible Hokit versus Derek Lewis. Now, this one is pretty clear cut, but there is a bit of like nuance to it. So Josh Hokit had that fight with Curtis Blades. He went to war, swang and bang, and he's got a lot of speed. He's a pretty small guy for heavyweight, 6'1", 230, but that allows him to be very quick on his feet, and he does have good chain wrestling. We saw in Derek Lewis versus Waldo Cortez Acosta, he kind of just got his guard passed like a baby, and then ground and pounded, so he's not really in it anymore. He's kind of just there to get a paycheck. Obviously, he's going to swang and bang the first round. I think if Hokit tries to stand and bang, he could potentially get chinned. Hokit was getting hit pretty hard by Curtis Blade in some exchanges, even when Blades was tired. And I think if Lewis is able to land clean on you, he can put you out. He did it against Volkov after losing 2.5 rounds. So I think Hokit has to be smart here. Derek Lewis clearly doesn't have long-term gas in terms of the fight. He has no wrestling. He has no chain wrestling, which Josh Hokit should definitely use to his advantage. So we're going to take Josh Hokit. I think he probably tries to strike, gets hit with a big shot, and is like, okay, not doing that. Probably starts to chain wrestle Lewis, get him tired. Maybe he TKOs him if Lewis gets tired, or maybe he just chases a submission, rear naked choke maybe. I don't think you're getting any other type of sub on a fatty like Derek Lewis. He does just stand up. But I think if Josh Hokit plays its cards here right, doesn't try to stand and bang to prove a point, because that's where, it's puncher's chance. That's literally what it's called. I think he gets it done quite easily, to be fair. Derek Lewis is kind of over the hill, and if he derails the Hokit hype train, dude, Hokit's never hearing the end of it, because Derek Lewis is not what Derek Lewis used to be. So we're taking Hokit, probably round 2 sub, but please don't be stupid here. We move on. Sean O'Malley versus Amian Zahabi. Now, this fight is a lot closer than people are thinking. A lot of people don't know who Amian Zahabi is. They just think O'Malley highlight. He only lost to Marab. And fuck, who else? Why am I blanking? Has he only lost to Marab? Because he didn't go... I don't know. Either way. Sean O'Malley, former champion, nasty striker. He's got good movement. Beat Aljamain Sterling, who people were saying was the GOAT before Marab. He's coming off a win over Song Yadong, I think, over 3 rounds. It was a close fight, but he definitely did enough to get the win there. He has a close win over Peter Yan, which I don't think he won, but I think the fact that he made it that close with a guy like Peter, who is now the champion, is very good for this fight. And Zahabi's good, though, here. I want to look at his career but his fights aren't the best. So, split decision versus Chito Vera. Not a great look. He gets hurt once pretty bad in every fight. Against Aldo, he got dropped and soccer kicked and managed to come back and Bautista, Aldo, his way to a win. Munoz, decision, it is what it is. But just look at these last two. Granted, it's an aging Aldo, but that was a close fight. He almost got KO'd. And then Vera, split decision, no me gusta. Look, Zahabi's good. He's got Faraz Zahabi, one of the best coaches in the game, in his corner, helped GSP. But I think O'Malley's going to be too rangy. Zahabi does try to grapple in moments, but I think Sean is going to be able to negate that. And if Zahabi tries to prove a point on the feet, which I think he is, I think O'Malley's going to find him, crack his chin, drop him. Does he get the finish? If they're looking for like a clip at UFC 250 early stoppage, maybe. But could Zahabi survive to another decision where it's close but he loses? Yes, I think. But I think O'Malley, if he's calm, collected, calculated here, defends whatever takedown Zahabi has, avoids his awkward boxing, and snipes him down the middle, I think O'Malley gets it done. Now, I believe this is a 3-round fight. We'll go ahead and say O'Malley round 3 KO. I really think he's going to be looking for a finish here. He's got to, put his foot down, because if he finishes Amian Zahabi, they're going, yeah, fuck you, Marab. Nobody likes your style. You can clip farm all you want, but nobody likes your style. And we want Sean O'Malley. They've been on that hype train even after the Marab loss, giving him the immediate rematch in which he got subbed. Yikes. But yeah, I definitely think if he gets a finish over Amian Zahabi here, he's definitely leapfrogging Marab for the title shot, because there's a rematch against Yan. There's a storyline there as well. They love storylines, especially with stars, and they will value that. They will shaft a former champion to push a narrative, to push a storyline, to push a bigger fight. And Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley 2 is a much bigger fight than Sean O'Malley waiting for Peter Marab, because even though Peter Marab would be a trilogy, and that's also a storyline, dude, Peter beat his ass so bad. And Marab's taken nothing but more damage. In the wrestling match recently at REF, he broke his nose. So I think O'Malley's coming into this fight knowing if I put on a good performance, if I get a finish, if I make a call, I'm getting that title shot over Merab, and I think he's gonna show up with that. It's a big moment, UFC White House, one of the biggest card in history. So we're gonna take Sean O'Malley to win by round 3 KO. We'll say he could find it earlier, but I think he'll have to negate some of Zahabi's early striking and wrestling, try to find out the rage. Jesus Christ! But yeah, Sean O'Malley round 3 KO. We move on to the co-main event. Alex Pereira versus Cyril Scissorhands Gone. Last fight, no contest because of gonorrhea fingers over here. I can't fucking see. I can't do a great Tom Aspinall accent. He's got a weird dialect of English, but this is a good fight. I think this is a 5-round. It's for the interim title. It's too short notice for them to strip Aspinall for him not being back, so it sucks. But if Pereira wins this fight, GOAT. Like what? Like three division champ in any way or shape or form. He's GOAT. Like nothing else to say there. And then you have Pereira Aspinall for the end of the year. Why not? Aspinall's supposed to be on here over this fucking cheat, but he couldn't get ready because this guy stabbed him in the eye. Infinite title shot glitch for Cyril Gone. He's probably going to go for some illegal shots on Pereira, poke him in the eye, kick him in the dick. Same shit, different day. But I definitely think Pereira is going to have even more power behind him. And if he's able to even catch Cyril once, I hope y'all didn't hear my cat just meow, but if he's able to catch Cyril once in an exchange and even hurt him and smells blood, it's over. I've seen that training footage with Teixeira. I mean, Pereira, his combos, his power, it's insane. And we saw Tai Tuivasa was able to catch and sink Cyril Gone bad. And he ended up winning that fight via illegal back of the headshot finish, but I digress. I don't think Pereira's going to be put in that position. I don't think Gane's going to be looking to wrestle. It is going to be kind of a tit-for-tat kickboxing match. And I think Pereira's going to use... I think they're around the same size, but he just has so much intimidation in the cage. I think he should be able to kind of walk down, circle, and track Gane and find that shot. Get him out of there, get a crazy highlight, cement GOAT status. I think Pereira should be taking this more serious than ever. And if Gane wins, then the whole thing's ruined. It's just such a shit fest. The guy doesn't even deserve this opportunity. He's a filthy cheat. But if Pereira wins, GOAT legacy. So I will be watching this fight. I'm very excited for this fight. I think I'll be at a watch party, so there will be no recap night of probably next day. But we're taking Alex Pereira to win. But here's the question: is how durable is Cyril Gane? How much damage can he take, or how long can he last before that big shot is landed by Pereira? I think round 1 or round 2, Pereira's going to be looking to cement GOAT legacy in a way that we've never seen before. John Jones cemented GOAT legacy by collecting titles, and most of them were against older, fatter guys who weren't in their prime or in their original division where they were a lot smaller than him. They were 5'11", 6 foot, where Jones is 6'4", longest reach in history. And I think Pereira wants to cement GOAT status with a guy who's considerably second, third best heavyweight in the world with a nasty KO. Especially when Tom couldn't get it done, couldn't find that shot, right? Was getting kind of pieced up by Gane, even though it was close. He got hit with a bloody nose. I think Pereira wants to just cement this, man. I can feel it, and we will be there. We will be there. And if Cyril Gane fouls Pereira and Pereira cannot continue, we are dangling Cyril Gane from the UFC dome by his ankles. That's all I'm going to say. Alex Pereira, round 2 KO. We move on. She took the key. It's Justin. Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. My God. Oh, it's going to be cinema. Ilia Topuria is sleeping Justin Gaethje. He says in 2 minutes. I'll say round 2. Going into this fight, there's a lot of respect. Ilia Topuria obviously always shows respect to his opponents, especially when they're experienced. Justin Gaethje, 2-time interim champion, fought a who's who of the 155 division, lost to arguably some of the best champions we've ever seen in the history of the UFC. You had Khabib, you had Prime Oliveira, and you had not Makhachev. Who am I thinking of that he lost to? I'm thinking of Dustin. Jeez. But Justin Gaethje has lost to some of the best, but he's also beaten some of the best in Michael Chandler, Rafael Fiziev. Who else did he beat? Eddie Alvarez. Like, he's got some good names on his resume. Beat Poirier, most recent win, head kick. Not most recent win, but like most recent elite win in that trilogy. Or, sorry, rematch. I'm just yapping here. But Ilia Topuria recently got divorced a few months back. And Justin Gaethje over here ended up saying I wouldn't want to marry him too, and made it personal. And Ilya said, I'm not going to have any respect for him. My team's not going to have any respect for him. And I'm looking to get him out of there in 2 minutes. So, Justin, it was nice knowing you. LOL. Interim champion twice for what? Um, if Justin upsets here, it'd be insane that Volk, Holloway, and Oliveira, all guys except Volk, who beat the dog shit out of Justin Gaethje. It's insane that if Justin Gaethje was able to pull it off, I kind of feel like it was a fluke in a way, you know? But I think Topuria is going to find a nasty round 1, round 2 KO here. Gaethje might have some chaos early, some rolling thunder, some heavy leg kicks, uppercuts, especially with Ilya being the shorter guy. And, you know, he kind of ducks his head when he comes in. He really has to look out for that, but I'm sure he's been preparing for that in camp. And I think Topuria, it's going to be. It has to be. I mean, he's already one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the history of the UFC outside of Pereira. One of the best 55ers of all time. We have to see how he holds up here, or just one of the best fighters of all time. And he's the legend killer. He's essentially it was Sakuraba of the UFC. He's the legend killer, you know? And I don't think Gaethje's the one to get it done. I really don't. I think Topuria's going to make it quick. He's going to make it look easy. And Gaethje's going to retire after shitting his pants, going face down, palms up, and it will be cinema. It will be cinema. Those are my picks. Let me know what y'all think of them. If you have any other takes or any other picks that maybe I didn't consider, let me know. Ilya Topuria would be a violent KO, bro. Round 1, round 2, violent. But yes, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you if you made it to this point of the video, and see ya.